Hi, it's Matt here from Go Green Auto. So in this video we're just going to look at clunky doors on these Citroen Berlingo or Peugeot Partner vans. It's a common issue on these Berlingo and Partner vans where you get clunking there on the check strap. So this van is only 12 months old and already it's clunking. But in this case it's very simple to see that the bolt is loose there and it's not fixed, so it's a really simple fix. You just need a T40 Torx and do that bolt up. However, in this case I'm going to whip the bolt out, put some new Loctite on and then do it back up. But more often it's not as simple as that. It's a case of replacing the whole check strap mechanism. So I'm going to show you how you do that. We have another Peugeot Partner van. It's a 2016. It's only done 36,000 miles. It's fully electric. That's actually a lot of miles for an electric van. They tend to be very low mileage. But when I open this door, it's got the same issue. You get that noise in the check strap. Didn't do it then. Got to. Oh, Jesus! It really is loud, and you feel a vibration up here through the metalwork. It sounds horrendous. In this case it's not loose, it is that mechanism inside. So these check straps, that's an original Peugeot one out of a van, and that's one I have previously removed, and they've got nylon rollers in there. I suspect it can be lubricated and improved, but I'm in the business of retailing out vans and I don't want that to then the problem to return only a matter of weeks or months afterwards and be a warranty claim. There's no point risking it, so I'll put a new one in. If you were to buy these from your Peugeot or Citroen dealer, they would want about £40 plus VAT. You can buy aftermarket ones. The part number you want is 9181P2. These ones cost about £12 plus VAT, and if we compare them like for like, they're absolutely identical. So yeah, they're probably exactly the same as the Peugeot ones, and they're nearly quarter of the price. The other thing you're going to need to do this job, because we've got to take this door card off, is you will need some of these plastic clips that hold the door card on, because they do break, particularly if it's cold weather and you're in the winter. Then pretty much most of them are going to break, and they're also going to break when you're going to push the door card back on. But get yourself some of these. You can go on eBay and just search Partner door clip or something like that and you will find them. You can buy a bag of them for I don't know, £5-6 or so. We'll see in a minute how many you need when I take this off, but you're going to need at least 5 of them, because 4 or 5 are going to break. So yeah, sort of £15 or so for that, and another few quid for a few clips, and that's all you need. I've got another video on the channel which shows you how to remove the door cards and fix another common problem with these vans, which is a rattle inside where the door bars get loose. But this one isn't actually doing it. But anyway, I'll quickly show you how you remove that door card. So you'll need a T20 Torx to remove that screw, and then a small screw there. So next you need to remove this bit of trim around the grab handle to get to a couple of screws in here. So what you need is some plastic tools to get in here and separate this from the door card. It is a bit tight, but if you keep prising around there, you'll open it enough to get your fingers in, and then you can snap it off. I would suggest you start somewhere around here because there's a bit more flex there, and if you happen to chew that edge of the plastic, it's not really visible on this little bit. So start there and then start prising that off. And then when that is off, you then need a T30 Torx to undo that screw and one down in there. So with those screws removed, next it's a good idea just to loosen this off, and again get your plastic tool in there if you can't get your fingers in there. It's not ideal trying to do this while I'm holding the camera, but yeah, if you can just release the clip at the top, the rest of it stays attached for now to the door card, but that just allows the door card to come away with that still attached to it. Right, next we've got to pull that door card off, and this can be quite a tricky job. So again, you're going to need your plastic tools. Slightly wider one is handy for this, and we've got to get under there to pull this off. It is just held on with these plastic trim clips, so best to start along there or along the bottom somewhere, and as soon as you can get your fingers in, then you can push against your thumbs and pull it apart with your fingers. And so we've got clips all round these edges, and at the top it hooks into the window ledge. It's just lipped round like that, so there's no clips along the top. We just got to get the clips all around the bottom and the two sides, and then we can pull it out, lift it up, and it will come off. But I've got to do this off camera because I need two hands, and I don't currently have a tripod because I've just broken it 2 minutes ago. These are really awkward to get started, they really are on strong, but once you can get a lever in there, you can lever that out just enough to get your fingers in, and once your fingers are in there, it's a much easier job than using tools. So I've now got a few off, and of course they all broke as I pulled it off, but once you can get your fingers in there, you can then lever it with your thumb, and let's just see if I can get some round there. Oh god, that's stiff. It's not easy trying to do this one-handed. There. So that's them all off that side. There. That's them all off, and then that should lift up. Now, I need two hands for this. What you have to be careful is this doesn't clip back in, because that was stopping me lifting it up. But there, once that is all free, it does just lift off. And then you can see here the clips. 2 there, 4 along the bottom, 3 up that side. And I've only got 1 clip that survived in this case. Saying that, I've got 2 clips here in the door which I can potentially, no, another 2 here I can potentially save, but often when you ping these out, the backs do snap and fall off inside the door, but we'll give that a go. So the tools for removing these could be a pair of trim pliers like this, and that pulls it out square. But these are often quite cheap, and in this case this handle has started bending, and once it's lost its strength that bends almost every time, so I've pretty much given up on those. You can get this type where you then lever on the back. These are much stronger, or you can simply use a tool like that. All of these are very cheap on eBay. But it's very difficult in cold weather to save these. This one was okay, that one was saved, but obviously working with plastic in cold weather, it's very brittle. Oh, again, very awkward doing these jobs while holding a camera. That one saved as well. So saved 2, broke 2. Lost some footage here because I forgot to press record on the camera. So next thing you need to do is remove this foam barrier. So the best thing to do is to prise it off and cut the glue with a sharp knife. You're not going to be able to take it all off because the speaker in the bottom corner is riveted in place, but get as much as you can off so you can fold that foam barrier back so you can get your hands inside the door. So no matter how careful you are, it will tear in places, particularly if it's cold. But anyway, get that as much of that off as you can. So while you're here, you're going to want to tighten up that bolt, and as you can see, this one actually is loose even though it wasn't rattling. So best thing to do is take those out and put some Loctite on it and do them back up again. This is a common issue on these vans. That bolt gets loose, that then rattles when you slam the door. And also check the other bolts while you're here. There's 2 there and 1 there, so it's a good opportunity to do that. if you've got one of these Peugeot Partner vans, you know, you surely have experienced rattling doors. They do it all the time. So putting some Loctite on these is very important. Next, we've got to get this check strap out, and that is held on with these two studs here. So what you need is a 10mm socket, ideally a deep socket, and you can just get in there, top and bottom, and remove the two 10mm nuts. And we obviously need to take this one out here. So again, we need our Torx, and that is a T40. This one can be very tight. They've often got a lot of Loctite on, so hence you probably want a bigger socket like I've got here. And at the point you removed this bolt here, there it is, you have to remember that your door is no longer held. So don't do it in the wind. You don't want the door being pushed back because there's nothing else holding it. It's only sitting now on the hinges. So just be a bit careful if you're doing this outside and it's particularly windy. So next you need to remove these two 10mm nuts. And then at this point the thing is then loose, so you need to get your hand up under here and hook it back out. And as you can see, I didn't remove both nuts because it's actually on a slotted section, so if one is removed, the other one's slackened off, it will then drop out and you can remove it. So at this point it's just a case of dropping in the new one, the whole thing in reverse obviously. The other thing that's worth doing is getting a vacuum cleaner with a long nozzle down inside the door and removing all of the broken bits of plastic that came off the clips, because you don't want anything in the bottom of the door rattling when you slam the door. So remove any debris from the bottom of the door. I've got another clip there to remove, and then you make sure there's no clips in any of these holes. You put your new clips into the door panel. So in a case like that, we've got a broken one there, which that's a bit tight. Again, I need two hands, but anyway, you stick your new ones in like that, make sure all the clips are in the panel, hook it in at the top first, and then go round and gently bang them all back into place. Sometimes they don't perfectly line up, there's a bit of play with them, so it might be a case of laying down, looking underneath, using a screwdriver just to move the clip to get it in place before you give it a smack. Because if you smack it and it's slightly off centre, that's when the clips break. But most of the times if I put them back on, even in cold weather, you might get one or two that might break, and of course you're going to get a bit of loose plastic down inside, but not much you can do about that. But it might help actually if you warm the clips up before, which I often do, because obviously warm plastic isn't going to snap quite so easily. I'd also advise, before you put it all back together, give the door a really good shake to make sure there is nothing rattling in the bottom of the door, because it's surprising, sometimes there might be a little bit of plastic down the bottom which you can't see, and giving it a good shake and a slam a few times will loosen up all that debris at the bottom. So all finished and rattle free. Push the foam barrier back on, replace the clips that needed replacing. So before you put this back on, it's best to remove this section from there, which does clip over your door mirror bolts. It's best to put that on at the very end. And if you've got a little metal spring clip, that goes there, which hooks down in here. Sometimes that will ping off when you're initially taking this panel off, so that's where it goes, about 1.5 inches from the end. So next it's a case of just hooking the top in first. I'm not going to be able to do this on camera because I need both hands, but then it's just a case of, as you go round, making sure those clips line up with the hole and then gently giving it a tap in. And as I said, one or two may break, but you're not going to be able to do much about that. As long as you get them lined up before you give it a smack, then you should be fine. So with the door card back in place, just do everything in reverse. Put all your screws back in, clip that back on there, and clip the rest of the grab handle back on. And there we go, moment of truth. One completely quiet door. If you found this video useful, please do click that thumbs up button on YouTube, and comment as well below and share if you can, because that all does help other people find the channel. And subscribe of course if you want to, it's free. And if you're interested in electric vans, then have a look at the channel and also the website.